All right, first we're looking at this clip at the Idaho town hall of some woman who gets unceremoniously dragged out after voicing an opinion. Fair enough, she didn't raise her hand, you know what I mean? But what follows is a little bit out of pocket. So, yeah, let's check this out. Probably skip around a little bit.
There's an opportunity for you to sound off, but not right now. And because you're not smart enough to know that, get out.
Dude, literally, like,
Get out.
What is
I mean,
that
I'm glad
body language?
that, Republican, obviously. Like, if you wouldn't have told me that they were actual security, I would have just assumed, like, a lot of people that they were just stupid idiots that were
Right.
manhandling this woman out for trying to talk about how women are dying because of their stupid abortion
Just
laws.
random,
Like,
yeah, just some random Proud Boys, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
this guy in the middle, he looks like he's halfway through. Well, my cursor's not. Okay. Yeah, this guy looks like he's like halfway through like a meth binge. And he's like, I'm going to need to re-up shortly, but this is wonderful. I just get that face from him. Is that messed up? You know, dragging a woman out of a town hall is messed up, you know? So
It's pretty messed up, that's for sure.
All right, I teed you up for that one, so you're
You
welcome. Okay, so let's continue.
Get up or be arrested.
He's like, do you see me? You're insulting my fragile ego.
There was some really
You're gonna arrest her?
I think you're right. I think that, yeah, sheriff cap right there. So one of these guys
What?
who claims to be security is just straight up the sheriff.
Yeah, and I only knew that because I didn't even notice the hat. I'm blind. I got like thick spectacles, right? But like when she's screaming, she's like screaming at him and calling him sheriff and then asking if the other guy is a deputy. They never respond to her. Like they don't tell her anything. She just at
Right.
this point knows that the sheriff and two random dudes are forcing her out.
You can literally be like name and badge number. And they're like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. But cops don't know about rights. I saw this one video where, like, frequently if you see cops get confronted by smart people, they can't name, like, the amendments. But anyway, look at this guy. He's like, when I grow up, I'll be just like this bigoted sheriff, grabbing random people and thinking I can just assault them at will.
I didn't even notice that until you paused it. He's smiling. Like
It's
he's
weird.
enjoying this.
Yeah.
That's sadist right there.
All right, so let's see how this plays out.
She spoke up where these folks are. Shut this down.
Sheriff couldn't do it. Second guy comes in.
So all of you.
Well, you gotta think about how terrified she must be right now. Like there's people recording it, but no one is stepping in to help her.
Right.
Like
There are people like verbally being like, hey, you can't do that. We got to stand up, y'all. Like, I saw so many posts being like, I wouldn't have let that happen. And I'm like, okay, all right.
Well,
we'll
and
see
that-
when it
yeah.
happens.
I'll get into the comments of this video after that, because especially on TikTok, it's wild.
All right, cool. Oh, that's not going to work.
Applaud you for sitting there and quiet.
These are deputies! Who the are these men?
And this guy is just overjoyed. He's like, come on, little white lady. Let me assert my dominance real fast. He's literally smirking the whole time. Okay.
Yeah,
so-
like he's having so much fun with this.
and the
Like
best
he
part
never
is
thought that.
3 security guards. What were you saying?
I was gonna say, it's like he never thought that he'd have a chance to, in his mind, legally assault a woman and pull her out of a building, and this is just like his day.
And his first chance to do it, it took 3
Yeah.
guys, and they still have not succeeded yet. Like, they took turns, like shifts, to, drag this woman out, and they're still not succeeding. And it looks like they're going to have to get a 4th guy in to finish the job. And aren't these guys paid to be security? First of all, I mean, like, no one should be doing this. But, like, if you're supposed to be able to, physically, like, diffuse situations, you would think that it wouldn't take 3 security guards to take one random citizen out of it. I don't know. None of this makes any sense. Let's keep going.
Mismanaging money for decades. And we want to get up there now.
No identification.
Show your badge!
2 guys can't do it. This
Like,
is
they're like,
embarrassing.
It'll be 100
they're
times.
gonna like break her arm. Look at how they're holding it.
They've never gotten any training for this. This is the first opportunity that they've ever had to like flex themselves, and it's odd. It's extremely odd. So let's check this out. Let's finish out the last few
Yeah,
seconds.
that's what they say to rape victims.
Haha.
Identify yourselves. Who are you?
She said that's what they say to
There's an
victims.
opportunity.
Hey. She said that's what they say to our victims, you effing be. And I'm like, respect. This is how those people need to be treated and talked to. And to be clear, not the woman being dragged out.
No, and the fact that this is a town hall meeting.
Yeah.
Is like, what's the point of having a town hall meeting if you're not going to let your citizens talk to you about issues in their town?
So what I've heard is she spoke out of turn. And I'm like, okay, tell her to wait. Don't drag her out. And
That was just their excuse.
right. They were like, we don't want to have to address what she's bringing up. So guards is literally what happened. And so, yeah, you said there was like some comments and stuff. Let's get to that before we talk about what happened to these guys.
I mean, it drags itself into like a bigger problem, which you can see on. There's a lot of different videos where this discussion is being had, but in the comments there was a lot of, like, let's say non-white women that were talking about how if it would have happened to someone in their group, they would have been on that immediately. They would have helped her. It didn't matter what side she was on. And I believe that 1000%. They've done it time and time again. They were there for each other. And white women are not as, I mean, historically, not as forthright with helping each other, especially when they're on opposite sides of, politics or ideas or anything like that.
Right.
But there are, like, I want to say, at least in this day and age, I would hope that there is at least a minority or a small group of us that would actually help each other. I've just fortunately not been in a position where I've had to do that because I'm an introvert and I stay at home. And if I go anywhere, it's to Walgreens. And I love the Walgreens old ladies. Like, they're there for me. But yeah, I think it just brings into a much bigger discussion of we're living in a time where we're gonna have to put aside differences to help in situations like that, and are
Right.
we actually capable of doing it?
That's a really good point because, clearly one of the main parts of the political strategy of this new administration, there's a few key pillars, and one of them is this idea of getting everybody used to being in their own box. And so that
Right.
way, and not only that, but demonizing the entire box based on a false notion and stereotype inside of it. See, banning transgender women in sports to address 10 people across the entire United States. That means on average, 1 in every 5 states has one collegiate trans woman who they
Yeah.
are trying to target with this thing. It's a nothing burger, but it makes people say, they're taking care of that whole issue that I'm bigoted about. And then the immigrant thing, most of the people that they've been deporting, they've shown have no evidence of a criminal history in the United States, no conviction. And they don't care because then they can say, we got some Venezuelan gang members and they're in Gitmo. And, people are like, yeah, get those people taking my jobs. I mean, like assaulting our women or, whatever. They're doing bad stuff. I know it. I don't know anybody personally, but I know that they're up to no good. So let's get them out.
Yeah.
And
No, it's.
right.
I think that it leads into like another type of discussion. But yeah, no, I agree with all of that. I have to sit back and like think, if I was in that situation, what would I do? And I would like to believe that I would say yes, I would help her because it's on my bucket list to get arrested at least once. Never been have a clean criminal record, and if I'm going to get arrested, it's going to be doing something right, like for a good reason. That means I got to punch a cop in the face. We'll punch a cop in the face.
Be careful. Be careful. You're gonna get some hardcore felony and stuff. You have to assault a citizen, and then they don't really care as much.
They
Yeah.
are a citizen. Like,
But-
if they don't have their like stuff on, like they did at the town hall meeting, I'm going to assume that you're a citizen. I'm gonna punch
This
you in
is
the face.
true. They were not. And yeah, so those two or three other guys outside the sheriff, they were just part of this contracted security group called Lear. And so, yeah, let's look at the follow up for this and see a little bit about how they handled it. And credit where it's due, they actually did something. So, Lear lost their business license. Like, they didn't just lose like the contract with the town hall to protect them. They basically like revoked their right to operate as a company. And, so this is including the fact that they violated the First Amendment, the woman's right to free speech. But also, like I was mentioning, one of the biggest things that made it cut and dried was one of the ordinances for security protocol in this situation is uniforms worn by security agents must clearly be marked with the word security in letters no less than 1 inch tall on the front of the uniform and no less than 4 inches tall on the back. And as you can see in this video, there is quite literally no marking on any of these people. They're just wearing black jackets. There's nothing going on here. And so that in and of itself got them fired. So
Yeah,
that's
I'm
kind of
saying
sick.
too. Like, I would I don't have a lawyer, but if I needed one, he definitely would point this out. If I punched you in the face, if I was there and I punched you for doing that to that woman, and you're in plain clothes, and you wouldn't tell me if you were a deputy or not or security, you're a citizen.
Right. Yeah. And so hopefully people actually get come up and